Hey, photographers who do live events, are your commercial clients starting to ask you about NDA clauses in your verbiage to your image rights in your contract? Well, are you being compensated? We're going to talk about that right here on The Visual Historian. Glad you're here. Okay, everybody. So, welcome back to The Visual Historian. My name is George Kushler, owner of GK Photography here in New Orleans. For the last 31 years, I capture everything you can think of. Oh, my goodness. I love photography. It literally is my life. And recently, I've been noticing an uptick from my commercial corporate clients when they ask me for sending over the contract, and they read the verbiage, and a lot of times we have a couple of changes we need to do, just because it's it may be some verbiage according to the actual event that we're doing, what is allowed, what's not allowed, that kind of thing. However, what I have noticed is more and more of these corporate clients are asking me to put in the verbiage basically that I can't do anything with the images. They own everything. I cannot do any posting whatsoever on social media or my website, like nothing. I can't show off the fact that I'm working. Well, did you know that that is the same equivalence of an NDA, a non-disclosed agreement, which normally comes with a fee, meaning you should be compensated for not being able to show your right to work, to show your work. And that's hard when you're trying to go after new business. So let's just say every corporate client from here throughout the rest of the year asks you to put that clause in there. Well, if you can't post anything for the entire year, you look like you don't do any commercial work, right? Like if somebody went to your website or they're following you on Pinterest or X or Threads or wherever they want to find you, if you're not showing off your work, you don't look like you're busy. Therefore, it hurts your business for the furtherance of your business, if that makes any sense. I'm a photographer. I am not a lawyer. However, I have been dealing with these contracts and the verbiage in the contracts, and I have spoken to many lawyers over the years. My brother-in-law is one of the best, and over a casual family function, we'll talk about things like this. And, it's nice to have some inside information. The reason why I'm making this podcast today is because I know there are a lot of photographers, within 5 to 10 years of starting your business that you are possibly dealing with these kinds of scenarios and you don't know the answer. Okay. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you that changing the verbiage is not the problem. It's the simple fact that we're not being compensated if you're not charging a fee. Okay. And I know the one question you're going to have is, well, what can I charge? What do people normally charge for that? And I have to be honest, I've spoken to quite a few photographer friends of mine all around the country, and everybody has a different answer, because it really is, what fee do you think is appropriate for the event? What kind of event is it? Is it so huge with tons of celebrities? You not being compensated is really going to hurt your business because you're not showing off, the 3 celebrities that the entire world knows of. So when they do any Google searching on those celebrities, your images may come up, which validates you as a photographer, as a business person, as a trusted authority in the photographic community. All of that should be compensated. Now, as far as how much, I really kind of sort of can't tell you that, but I can give you a couple of maybe examples, okay? And that this is just throwing numbers out there because it's not anything hard. However, I personally think, 10%, 15%, 20% of the total would be fair. It's a percentage of the job that's being done. You can't forward project business you don't have. So you can't charge a huge fee off of business you never got yet. You know what I'm saying? So you need to play in the sandbox in today's world, okay? We're in 2026. Where are we in February? Yeah. According to the job that you're working, according to the industry, according to your own business, your own exposure, like all of that really does go into play, which is why it's times like these where I wish I had an agent. Photographers have agents too. If you're with an agency, maybe you have a individual agent, you have a marketing team, you have people that would handle the sale, this transactional sale of getting the work for you. You go work, everybody makes their money. That's how it usually works. However, on a smaller scale, when you're getting an email out the blue that says, hey, found you on Google. We have an event from this date to this date. These are the requirements. You get excited. You check your calendar. You're available. You do all the things. They say, yes, we love your work. We love your pricing. We want to move forward. You do that. You're all excited. You get them in the calendar. You get them into your CRM. And then they come back with the email, hey, this is great. We just need to change this one piece of verbiage. Now, you read that piece of verbiage that they wrote to you, and you go, this is saying I can't do anything with the images. I'm the photographer. I mean, I own my rights to my images. Just because you asked doesn't mean I need to do something you're asking, okay? This is where the conversation begins, in my opinion. So let me just first start by saying these big corporations are used to language of a legal manner, and most likely you are not. Okay, so I'm just giving you a heads up. I'm gonna have a guest on the podcast in a week or so that does know more about the legal verbiage that we can talk about here, but I do know that you should be compensated for something you cannot advertise to attract further ints. That was terrible. To attract more business in the future, you need to show off your present work. Nobody wants to see you work from 5 years ago. Everybody likes seeing, what are you currently doing? If I cannot show off what I'm currently doing, that stinks, man. Even if I got a $500 fee or a $5,000 fee. That's nothing considered future business, where you can get $100,000 worth of business in 1 year's time if you booked, 5 jobs, 6 jobs, whatever it is that can give you that dollar. My point is, you're not even giving yourself the opportunity to do that because of a simple verbiage in the contract that you're agreeing to, without, I'm sure, checking with your lawyer. I have an amazing brother-in-law who's an amazing lawyer. I'm sure you don't. Not everybody can just pick up the phone and ask some lawyer questions without being charged a fee. I just need to bring my brother-in-law a bottle of really good bourbon, and he smiles. Oh my gosh. So listen, you guys, it is Mardi Gras time here in New Orleans. This is the week of Mardi Gras. Just so you know, if you're not from here, what Mardi Gras entails for us. And I noticed this last weekend when I was marching in the parade that my son was playing drums to with his school, was all the people that were out on the route is everybody in the city, obviously, but there's a good high chance, like 7 or 8 out of 10 people in the parade knows somebody in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? So this really becomes a community event. And it's so cool to see our schools, our grade schools, our high schools performing, this, which, by the way, is a very long parade. I mean, 6 hours of walking, that's a long parade. It's a lot of stopping. It's a lot of waiting. It's taxing on whoever the chaperones are. These kids they don't get up in the morning usually and go for a 6-hour walk, carrying equipment and playing and performing and dancing or whatever it is that we're doing. So this is what makes Mardi Gras so special, is because we do love performing. We do love the family social gatherings. We love the city events. We love supporting each other. It doesn't matter which school you're from. You might have a little bit of, competition for the football season or the volleyball season. But at the end of the day, those girls' schools know other girls from the other girls' schools. They're friends, you know? And us as parents, nobody boos another school. Everybody claps and celebrates the fact that these kids are doing something amazing, you know? When you have a good band pass by and these kids are 12 and they're playing drum beats that high school kids are doing, I'm impressed. And I make sure that they know it. You know what I mean? So if you ever get a chance to come to Mardi Gras, if you've not been here yet, just know that we have two different scenes. We have Metairie, which is not as crazy-ish as downtown is, you know? And even the downtown parades have like two sections. The parade starts in the uptown area around Magazine or like Napoleon, and they parade all through the city. And as they go down Canal and Porteous and all that good stuff, you start getting into downtown, you know? So it's neat to see everybody out there. We don't care who you are, what color you are, what religion, none of that matters, man. The only thing that matters is the simple fact that we're out there, we're having fun as a unit. You know, this is our city. These are our kids, you know, like everybody you see within the parade, whether they're on the sides saying, hey, throw me something, mister, or they're on the floats, these people that have paid their dues, maybe they, you know, design their own shoes. They have the coconuts that they do. There's a lot of time and effort, love and work and money that goes into this free thing that you're able to go and see. So that's the one thing that nobody can take away from New Orleans is our heritage. And I love how our, you know, my visual historian self, you know, me being able to see and capture and freeze frame all these moments, it just hit me the other day when I was marching. I was like, this is so cool, man. Like everybody out here is our people, you know? Everybody out here either knows somebody in the parade, walking the parade, you know? You may even know one. It doesn't matter. The point is we love life and we love celebrating it with friends and family. So when you are in town, we invite you to be like one of us. Come hang, grab a drink, don't grab a drink. Doesn't matter, dude. You know, you're going to have fun. There's food everywhere. People usually bring too much, so they'll offer it to strangers. You know, it's like one big tailgate. So anyway, it's Mardi Gras time. This Friday are the big parades bleeding into Monday and Tuesday. Tuesday being Mardi Gras Day. And then Wednesday becomes Ash Wednesday, and we kick off our Easter event, which is nationwide. But for us, it's like the closure. You know, it's the closure and a new reset beginning. You know, Mardi Gras, we got the king cakes, and we've got the beignets, and we have all these foods that, you know, they're rich, they're sugary, they're fun. You know, you eat it at a certain time of the year. You're not buying king cakes in March, you know, or December. You can. I mean, you can go to the places who make them, and I know they sell them. I'm just saying, as a city crazy, oh my God, I need to have a king cake today. Like that kind of goes away. So there's a time frame that we give ourselves. We allow some gratitude. We allow some breathing room to just enjoy life. It's kind of why we call it Fat Tuesday. It's like, don't think about life. Just take it all in. Just take it all in, man. You know? So if that doesn't encourage you to come see what the heck we do on Mardi Gras, I don't know what does. We love to take in life. And then Wednesday is our reset button, and we move forward, you know? So I am going to get us out of here. I don't have a very long podcast today. That is more of a PSA with the contracts with my photographer buddies. You know, if you have questions, please find me on the socials. I am GK Photography with the number 1 behind it, GK Photography 1. Literally, you can find me everywhere. I've been online since 94, 95. Yeah, I'm easy to find, y'all. So I'm going to get us out of here, and I will see you. I want to see you anyway. You're listening to me. All right. This is the Visual Historian. I'm glad you're here. Happy Mardi Gras, y'all. Today's podcast is brought to you by Rockin' Bowl, where all of your family and friends can go have a blast, bowl, and get your rock on. That's dumb. Today's sponsor is WCA Agency, the William Credo Agency. That's my buddy Chuck over there. He manages many bands for your events, private events, corporate events, you name it. Go check him out. WCA. I don't really know. Hmm. Today's podcast is brought to you by the WCA Agency, the William Credo Agency, where you can find many bands, many ways of entertaining your social event. Give Chuck a call or go visit him at www.wcaentertainment.com. Today's sponsor is Today's sponsor is WCA Entertainment, the William Credo Agency, the boutique special events production and media design. Give Chuck a call or go over to Jesus Christ. www.wcaentertainment.com. Let Chuck know I sent you. You can request the many bands that is located inside the WCA agency, like the Mets, oh God,